Hi.
Good evening, everybody. My name is David Shaw, and I'm the Senior Vice President of International Content for the UFC. First off, a big thank you to our partners in Brazil Global and the Combat Channel, to Jeunesse Arena, and all the fans here in Rio for the event. Attendance tonight was 10,696, and the fight of the night goes to Jacare and Gastelum, with performance bonuses to Lyoto Machida and Alexei Olenek. A few things to announce this evening. First of all, we'd like to announce again that we'll be coming back to Sao Paulo Saturday, September 22nd at Ibirapuera Arena for a fight night event in Sao Paulo. Secondly, very proud to announce that we will be launching a Brazil version of the Contender Series this summer in partnership with Globo and Combat Channel on August 24th. The first episode will air live on Combat Channel. We will then move to Globo on August 25th for a replay version, and then Sport TV on August 27th. The show itself will resemble the show that we aired last summer in the United States, with 3 episodes, 5 bouts per episode, and a representative from each show getting a contract for the UFC. We'll have both Minotauro Nogueira and Dana be involved in the show, and I'd like to announce the first 12 of 15 fights that will occur this summer on the Contender Series Brazil. In the heavyweight division, we'll have 2 fights so far. Rodrigo Ferreira and Henrique da Silva Lopez, as well Marcos Conrad Jr. and Augusto Sakai. In the light heavyweight division, Vinicius Moreira Castro versus John Allen. In the middleweight division, Leonardo Silva versus Wellington Truman. In the flyweight division, Gustavo Gabriel versus Rogerio Bontoin. And Alan Alves de Nascimento versus Ralina Paiva. In the women's bantamweight division, Eduarda Neves Santana versus Luana de Cavallo Souza, and Gisele Moreira versus Diana da Silva Santos, and Mayara Bueno Silva versus Mayana Kellam Souza de Santos. In the women flyweight division, Talia Santos versus Estefani Almeida, and in the strawweight division, Marina Rodriguez versus Maria Oliveira, and Mayana Amanjanas versus Sarah Frota. If there's any questions from the crowd, I'll take them now.
I have the mic. Hi, here.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Good, how are you? Obviously, the main event, we saw Amanda Nunes with yet another brilliant performance, and I think it's undeniable that, you know, her streak has been incredible. But I think a lot of people still wonder why she's not that big yet or that recognized yet. I guess what I wanted to hear from you is that, well, obviously she's headlining here, so it's not like the company is not giving her any attention, but I guess I wanted to hear from you just how big of a player is a person like Amanda Nunes for the Brazilian market right now, and what is being done on your end to really push that and to really promote her as a champion?
Well, I mean, I think tonight's example of her performance exemplifies, first of all, her athletic abilities. The fact that she was fighting in Rio, defending her belt for the first time in Brazil was actually pretty important. She's had a number of fights in the U.S. and abroad, and to bring her back home for home fans to be able to see her perform, I think is, first of all, a treat for the local fans, and her performance is a testament to what a quality fighter she is. As a champion, Amanda embodies all the real principles that the champions do. I mean, you know, she obviously works hard and she's exceptionally good at what she does. She gives back to the community. She's an intelligent, articulate person, very easy to work with. And so, you know, for us, it would be great if more champions were like her. So, you know, she's someone that we're going to continue to build around. You know, I think a lot of the work that's being done by our local team here, as well as the team in the U.S., will help get her, you know, extend what she's doing outside of the octagon and outside of the MMA sphere, making sure she's being built up in newspapers and magazines with lifestyle stories, all those types of things I think will serve to really help build her profile. So we're very optimistic about the future with Amanda Nunes. Yes, sir.
Boa noite, David. Recentemente, agora nessa semana, a equipe do UFC acabou sofrendo um assalto.
The UFC crew was robbed in front of the hotel where everyone was staying.
A maioria dos funcionários do UFC foi assaltado, foram roubados.
The majority of the UFC crew lost their documents and a lot of things. Does that kind of thing happening, does that hinder the plans?
A cidade do Rio de Janeiro.
No, I mean, the short answer is no. It doesn't hinder our plans. I mean, if anything, we'll just work extra hard and be extra vigilant. In the security measures and some of the education that we disseminate down to the rest of the team. I mean, our plan in Brazil is to continue to have 3 events a year. We'll now be airing the Contender Series. I mean, the investment continues at a very high level. So, no, I mean, it absolutely doesn't. It was a sad story and a bit of a tragic story. I mean, no one needs to go through that type of thing. I think our whole community here rallied around the people who were affected. It was sad because, the fights, our Brazil team here works so hard to make sure that, not only are they delivering a great product for the fans here, but they put so much, pride and passion into the event. And it was a bit tragic. It was a bit sad because there was a few of our staff members who were like, Dave, I apologize for our country, but I think in the end we were able to see that the true colors of the Brazilian people shone through. I mean, I'm not sure how many people in this room know this, but a good Samaritan in the community was able to find the passports and find the IDs, find a lot of the documents, and return them to us. So this whole story has a very happy ending to it. And something that I think reaffirms how much we're appreciative of not only the fan base here but the community in Rio and indeed in Brazil. Thank you.
Here in the left side in Portuguese. Na última semana, o campeão de kickboxing, Alex Poitin, publicou no seu Instagram que ele havia fechado o contrato com a organização. Tem alguma data estipulada para ele estar estreando no evento? Ou se ele vai lutar com o Contender Series, como não foi anunciado, uma próxima edição seria feita aqui no Brasil?
Sorry, and what do you have his name? What's the...
Alexandre Pereira, Alex Poitin.
Okay, yeah, at this point I'm not sure.
Ele havia postado que havia fechado o contrato com a organização, que ele daria mais detalhes na próxima semana. Só que ele não se manifestou, a organização não se manifestou em relação ao caso.
Yeah, no information on that right now. I'm unaware, but I'll check back in with Dana and Shaw next week.
Sure.
Thanks. Sorry.
Aqui, Dave.
Yes, sir.
Pergunta sobre o Vitor Belfort. Hoje foi a última luta do contrato dele no UFC. E queria saber se é do interesse da organização mantê-lo como lutador, renegociar um contrato ou transformá-lo, assim como outros lutadores, em membros da organização. Ou se a organização já definiu que não pretende mantê-lo, pelo menos não por enquanto, não manter nenhum tipo de ligação com o Vitor.
Yeah, I mean, I think at this point it's going to be up to Vitor. I'm not sure. We were going into this fight. We were unsure what he was going to do. I mean, our digital and social media staff and our creative team had these creative assets ready to go if he indeed did retire. And we, prior to the fight, weren't sure what his decision was going to be. He obviously did retire. I guess now the next step is for him to speak to Dana and figure out what he wants to do. I think, for us, Vitor's been a legend of the sport. He's accomplished so much in not only in the UFC but in mixed martial arts all around the world, and he's obviously been a true legend that is an inspiration to a lot of aspirational MMA athletes out there. I think there's a lot of options for Vitor. If he does want to keep fighting, he and Dana can figure that out. But if this is the type of situation where he wants to get into broadcasting or he wants to follow a similar path to Minotauro, to Big Nog, there's going to be options out there for him. And, you know, I think all the work that we've been doing with Big Nog and Dennis Martins in the community and educating some of the athletes and doing some great scouting work, there's no shortage of that work that needs to be done. And perhaps Vitor wants to follow that same path. But I guess the short answer is we're not really sure what his plans are at this point. Sorry.
David.
Yes.
Sobre a Mackenzie, o UFC tem algum plano de fazer ela subir de categoria, como fez com outros lutadores que tiveram problemas para bater o peso?
Short answer is I'm not sure. You know, that's something that Dana and Sean will figure out. I think a lot of that decision will rest with her and what she wants to do. You know, came close a few months ago in Las Vegas when she competed and obviously was overweight this week. So I think it's going to be a bit of a decision that falls in her lap, and we'll look to her for guidance. I don't think we'd push her in any one direction, but would probably work with her to make the best decision for not only her and her health, but, you know, for kind of the integrity of the sport.
Sobre o Contender Series, você disse que vai ser transmitido ao vivo no combate. As lutas vão ser realmente transmitidas ao vivo ou vão ser gravadas previamente? Porque a informação que a gente tem é que elas vão ser gravadas nos dias 8, 9, 10 e 11 de agosto.
That's correct. Yeah, we'll be taping them, producing a show that, again, you know, will resemble what you witnessed last summer with the U.S. version. They will be aired. The premiere will be aired on Combat Channel on August 24th, and then we'll run a replay, a cut-down version on Globo, and then 2 days later on August 27th will be on Sport TV.
Hi.
Hey.
Com a defesa do cinturão da Amanda, existe uma expectativa de uma super luta contra a Chris Borg. Isso de fato está nos planos do UFC, a gente ter essa super luta?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those fights that seems to make a lot of sense. I haven't heard explicitly from Dana that that's, you know, a fight that will be made. I know it's an interesting fight. I know from spending a lot of time down here and working with our team and speaking to all of you that, you know, Brazilians like winners, they like champions, and so perhaps this is a good way to kind of prove who, you know, is the most dominant female mixed martial artist out there right now. You know, as is typically the case, we don't make matches on event night, but, you know, we'll get back to work in the next couple of days and figure out whether or not that's the fight that makes sense. But, you know, there's a lot of pros, there's a lot of advantages, it seems, to having that fight, so we'll see. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Safe travels.